afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul, and I am a nerd, and you are lucky enough to be here for the July, is that what month it is, Mary Jo? The July 2019 Tabs3 Virtual User Group meeting from Attorney Computer Systems, where today we are going to talk about, what are we talking about? E-filing 1099s. Mary Jo's going to take that topic. And a new feature, or kind of a, not too exciting, but a new feature nonetheless, omitting the statement comments from the transaction file list and the T-code transaction, the other thing, that it's for task-based billing. I wrote this down wrong. But without further ado, I'm going to press all the magic buttons that are going to get me back to where I need to be, or should I say where Mary Jo needs to be, so that she can talk about e-filing 1099s. Take it away, Mary Jo. I'm going to move my mouse while you're doing this.
There, you couldn't even hear me. You couldn't even hear me. Yeah, I deserve it. That's right. Okay. So we're going to go here into AP, and so something that was introduced in January of this year was the ability to e-file the 1099s, which is huge. No more buying forms. You can just automatically, electronically submit them. So if you're the one in the office that does these 1099s, this is going to be great for you. So over here we have a Tabs3 1099 e-file. We pinned it. You can just go ahead and type 1099 up in the search. It'll take you to this option as one of the choices. So when we click that and open up the e-file, whoops, I click it too many times, you can see it's going to do the year. That's going to be the previous year. We are in test data, so it's trying to go ahead and do that. Our previous year in test data is 2014. It will give you that minimum value, again, 600. You can change that if it's different where you are. And then you've got a couple of selections here. You can manage this here. Paul, you're going to have to read that for me. Yeah, you can merge the transactions. I'm going to change my settings again here real fast. Sorry about that. And we'll just have to scroll. So if we go up, let me get up to the top here. Goodness, it's not letting me go up to the top.
We're playing with new.
I'm sorry, we have a new
screen.
Yeah, that's going to be too small. Let me try a different one. Sorry. We'll try the fit to window. Still not there. All right. So if you'll just read those for me, Paul. It's the
merge transactions where firm is the payer is the first one.
Yeah. So that one, if you've got several vendors or whatever that's out there, and the firm is the payer, you can merge those into one 1099.
And the other is include transactions where trust account is the payer.
Yeah, and so that's the other thing. If you merge those with the trust account vendors as well, that's going to be that checkbox there. So then there's a dashboard view here, and then there's a how it works, and then their transmit button. So when you get in here, I'm going to go first into the dashboard to show you how you can set up your account, and then the how it works is actually built into the dashboard as well, so we can get to it from there. So when we get into the dashboard, the first thing that's going to want you to do is to create an account. And so you're going to want to do that, and then we're going to want to go ahead and sign in, which we've created one already. So it's going to let me click on there. And it's under you, right, Paul?
It
Paul
is.
Purdue at Attorney.
You probably tell alerts before the time you get done typing.
I know it. It's so long. And we'll get our password in. And so when we log in, you're going to get to this screen here where you can start to look at what your forms in progress are. You can submit your forms, and then you can look at your history once you've done it. So this is really good. If we had forms to submit, which we don't, this is test data, we don't have any, but you would be in this first section, the forms in progress section, which you would be able to click on this, and then you'd be able to get those forms that you transmitted on the previous screen. If we look at the top here, we've got that how it works right here. You've got your filing home, which we're on right now, help if you need it, and you can always manage your account and your preferences within here as well. So what I really want to cover today is the how it works, because we don't really have valid data for us to show you an actual upload. Obviously, we don't want to upload anything to the IRS that's bogus. That wouldn't be very cool. So we're going to come into the how it works. And this gives you a nice document here to show you exactly how everything is going to flow. you're going to do your data here. It's going to go to your federal, state, or and the recipient that needs to get it. So everywhere that needs to be submitted to, it's going to go ahead and electronically file, and also then give you the option to print and mail your recipient's copy. So here it's just going to give you the steps, how to easily complete your filings. So you're going to choose the forms in progress, and then you're going to just follow these steps. Review your filings, choose submit. It's very easy. I had several clients take advantage of that this year. Absolutely loved it. Within just a few minutes, they had it completed. You can always, again, go to your form history, to see anything you've passed submitted. And then it has the pricing for each of the different things that you would need to complete. So all of that information is here for you to look at. I think in this next year, just be aware this is now available. So when you submit your 2019 forms in January of 2020, this is here. You can definitely start using this right away. This was new in version 19, and like I said, it was available this year in January of 2019. So yeah, I think it will be very.
I will give you the recipient side because we had several of our clients that used it to send us 1099s. And so when you send the 1099s, as Mary Jo just showed you the picture, it sends them to the state, the federal, and then to the recipients. And the recipients can either be printed and mailed, and that's not you printing and mailing. That's them printing and mailing. It's actually Nelco who provides this service, the same people that provide the checks for AP and trust. And so we received quite a few of them in the mail, well, a couple of them in the mail and quite a few of them through email. That's the other means of delivery. And what they're doing is they're just creating your 1099 as a PDF and emailing it to the recipient. Works really well. If you'll scroll down to the very bottom, Mary Jo, I do want to point out, I think this is funny. If you're filing on January 31st, you add $1 per form. So they must have so much volume on that day that they're charging a premium for the filing. But it's pretty cool. You save a lot of labor, and you save a little bit of money on postage and stamps and buying the forms too.
The other thing that I want to point out too is you can also do your 1095 form here too. So in our system before, you could only print the 1099s, and then you had to manually create that other document. Now you can do it here too. So that is really big. So
very cool.
Okay.
I'll take over here. Now, the other thing we're talking about today is the ability now to show statement comments in the TFL, the transaction file list. So if you've ever seen the transaction file list, it looks something like this. And we have I'm in Practice Master, no wonder. Hello. Wake up, Paul. Let's go in here and print one real quick. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a statement comment just for some people that may not know what statement comments are. First off, a TFL, transaction file list, looks a little bit like this. And really it's just kind of a listing of all the transactions. We must have it set just to show payments right now, but it would show fees and costs, the rates, and it breaks it down by client. It's basically like a kind of a very detailed listing of all the stuff that would show up on a bill. Now, if you're familiar with statement comments, they are something that can be done in fee entry. So if I go ahead and enter something from Michael Larson's workers' comp matter, Larson versus Bell Core, and let's say I'm just going to put in 0.2 hours, and I've reached some budget threshold that I'd set up to demo something. Conference with Paul, and then maybe parenthetical, he's a jerk. Okay, so probably not the kind of statement note you'd put in here, but if you take that and highlight it, and then either right-click or use Control-H for hide, it then shows up in red here. And if you print a draft bill, this entire statement, this fee entry description would show up, and this he's a jerk parenthetical note would be printed but struck through, and that's for the draft statement. That's also the way that it would appear previously on the transaction file list and the task code billing report. That's what I was trying to think of before. Let's go look at that real quick. So I'll go save this, and I'm going to go print a transaction file list, and I'm going to do it just for Michael Larson's workers' comp matter. And I'm going to go over to here and make sure that I'm telling it to do things including fees, expenses, and advances. And then if I say OK, I have to change my sort order because we had this set up this way to show something in the previous VUG. Come on. Sorry, my cursor's acting a little weird. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, what happens is it kind of messes with my touch screen when I've got you. Yeah, can you just click on sort for me? Yeah, we're a team, we are. And drop down check number, the top one. And change it to client, that's fine. Change that to timekeeper or something else, transaction date. Okay, say okay. So here we are, we'll do a preview. And one of these is going to have my statement note. There's a couple of them. See these things, test comment, this should be non-billable, billing 2 hours, not 3, yada, yada, yada. Great way for people to communicate. We use this here if somebody logs 2 hours, but they think the client should only pay for an hour because they spent an hour figuring something out. We put a statement note in that comes up on the draft, and the person who's reviewing the bill says, yeah, I think I will reduce that to an hour. Lots of uses for this. But what's new is that I can now go over to this options, and where it says statement comments, I can uncheck it. And when I do that, I don't see those statement notes anymore. So not really a huge deal. Not very exciting. I always get the not so exciting things.
Well, it is exciting though, because later on, if you ever want to come back in here and print this out and give it to the client or to the court for whatever your proof is, or there's a lot of people that will use this as like a statement on account or something, and they'll print this off and hand it to the court.
The court, the judge,
yeah,
the court,
to give an accounting, because you haven't. This might all be WIP time that you've not billed yet.
Exactly.
And you don't want it to be a draft statement. You want it to just actually be a listing of everything you've done to give to the client or to somebody. And this is the way. But you don't want them to see your comments.
And so what would happen in the past is you'd have to go into each individual fee transaction and take those comments out. And then if you really wanted those comments, you'd have to find some way to note them or to get them back in there. Yeah. So it's not very exciting, but it's significant in what it does, and that's what STI does when they release new features like this. They do things that people are asking for, and that must be one that people ask for quite a bit. And so there we have it. E-filing 1099's and omitting statement comments from the transaction file list from the task code billing report. Next month, we are going to talk about inline payments, that new feature where you can have a payment link show up on the PDF that's generated, and the client can see that, click on it, and pay that bill right then and there. Mary Jo is going to demonstrate that. And I'm going to talk about something, again, very exciting, lining up your checks. All the different adjustments that you can make to make sure that your checks line up, and how you can adjust that lining up the first time to get it just right, so that then you can leave it alone and be done with it. And of course, it just plain wouldn't be a virtual user group meeting if I didn't take you to our website, which is attorneycomputersystems.com. Notice that last S in the word systems, because without it, you don't get to the right place. If you will click on the word videos, which you can also hover over and go right to the title you're looking for, but I'm clicking right on the word videos, and I get to a page that describes all 6 of our video titles. 4 of them are live events, 2 of them are pre-recorded. You are currently in the Tabs3 virtual user group meeting. We also have virtual user group meetings for Practice Master and World Docs, and we will be adding them in the very near future for Cosmolex and for NetDocuments. We also have my Coffee Pot webinar series. So these are all live events. The VUGs are the VUGs. The virtual user group meetings are the VUGs. You're in one right now, so you understand what they are. The Coffee Pot webinars are where I will invite somebody in from a company that has a product that enhances or adds value to one of our core products, Tabs, Practice Master, World Docs, NetDocuments, or Cosmolex. And they will explain what their product does, demonstrate it, talk about pricing, talk about how it integrates with whatever it integrates with. Very informational, very, very informative, great way to see things that can enhance the value of your Tabs or Practice Master installation. And then we have our two pre-recorded video titles. Mary Jo has her Mary Jo's eBites series, where she takes short things that can be explained very quickly, little really cool things that we think we can explain in a couple minutes. And she records one of these each month for Tabs, one for Practice Master, one for World Docs. Very soon we'll be getting into the Cosmolex and NetDocuments arenas too, and then they won't be Mary Jo's only. We'll have other people doing the eBites. We also have our Paul and Mary Jo show, where we do the same thing, but these are for topics that are broader in nature or take longer to explain. So if we have something really cool that we can explain in a short period of time, we do an eBite about it. If it takes longer, we end up doing a Paul and Mary Jo show about it. If we click on, for instance, the Tabs Virtual User Group meeting, you will find that in there we get a very brief description of what that particular title is about. And then since it's a live event, we get information on the next one, which currently does still show this one. And then a place to register right there. You don't have links anymore. It's just the 4 fields we need. Actually, we need 3 of them. You don't have to put the company name in, and a button to register. That's all you need to do to register. And then if you scroll down further, you will find the pre-recorded versions or the recorded versions of those live events. So if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll notice that as far as the bugs go, we've got about 5 of them on a page, and we have somewhere around 26 pages of them. About the same for Practice Master, not quite as much for World Docs. We have somewhere between 800 and 900 videos on our website, all dealing with Tabs, Practice Master, and World Docs. A little bit of NetDocuments, a little bit of Cosmolex in there as well. You can browse them like this, or you can go up to the top and click on this little search icon, this little magnifying glass, and it will take you to a place where you can type a word, and it'll show you all the video titles that have that word in the description somewhere. So, great resource. It's available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Absolutely no cost to use them, so please take advantage of them. They're there for you. Everybody have a good rest of the day and a good rest of the month, and we will see you in August. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Bye.